YouTube. It's a beautiful day. I thought I'd come out in the yard, have a little chat with my YouTube friends, and maybe talk about some Hugelkultur. But I'm going to wait first to get everybody up on my chat so we can carry on a conversation. So first I have to find my live stream, which should be popping up any second. And then I'll be able to see your comments. So it'll take a few minutes to get started here. Because of the lag, pretty sure there's a lag between when I there's the live stream. Live stream 1 minute ago for watching. So I should be able to find the chat then. Let's see. I do. Jatan, Laura, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. Carol. Thanks all for coming. Now, I don't know if you saw my other Hugelkultur videos I made. I had made two because I've dug 2 Hugelkultur beds. And if you're not familiar with Hugelkultur, I'll just tell you quickly the definition or describe it a little. And that's where you kind of dig down under your beds and you lay in logs. And the more decayed and rotting, the better. So you put in logs, and then you put in branches and sticks and twigs, and that's what I did. And then I covered them with leaves, and then I took all the earth, because I had dug down 3 feet deep, 3 feet wide, and 8 feet long with a shovel. I did it, big trench, and then I put all that stuff in it, all this organic material, and then I covered it back over with the dirt, the soil I had taken out, and then I covered that soil with compost, and then I planted in it, and then I covered, as the plants came up, I covered them with wood chips to hold the moisture in. And the whole gist of Hugelkultur is that as the organic matter under the soil is there, it not only starts decomposing to feed the soil, but it also holds water and moisture, as does the wood chips on top. And they say it can go 10 to 15 years feeding your bed like that. So you can grow organically. It's part of permaculture. So who has done that and who knows about Hugelkultur? Let me make this bigger so I can read it. Tessie, hi. Allison, hello, hon. I am canning in the kitchen all day. What you been canning, Tessie? Uh-oh. Oh. I seem to be in the wrong chat line here. Let me see. I don't know if I'm under my real name or my BanDana Gramma name. Well, you see me anyway. Hey, Sullivan. Hey, Dana. How are you? I enjoyed your video this morning, Dana, about the nitty-knotty thing. That was cute. Laura, I learned something new today about that. Strawberry syrup. I've got strawberries growing. They're not going to be ready for a week or 2 yet, but they've already bloomed, and I see little like white and green strawberries starting, so they are starting. It's so gorgeous here today. I need a sweater. The breeze is just a little bit on the chilly side, but it's really nice, and the birds are singing. Is there any better place to be but outside in the garden on days like this? Hancock, Homestead and Gardens, hello. Dana's done some spinning today. Dana from Sullivan family homestead is going to be at the Homesteaders of America conference in Warrenton, Virginia, in October. And I'm going to see her there, and she's going to be doing spinning, I guess, wool demonstrations. Allison is making lentil soup for her Bible study. All the ladies between 70 and 96 years young. God bless them. Amen. Looks beautiful outside. It is. It's really nice. I hope you got nice weather up where you are too, Tessie. Hmm. I like lentil soup. You know, I don't know if I've ever made it. It's something I should do. I think I've only had it out of a can. I suppose if I like it out of a can, I'll certainly like it homemade, right? Yeah. Excited to go to the homesteading conference. I'll tell you, watching all those people from the Tennessee homesteading conference, they had a ball. It looked like so much fun. And I think one of the most fun things about it was them meeting each other, because like this, we see each other on the internet, but we don't see each other in person. Except Tessie and I met, and that was fun. So I think going to that conference is it's just going to be such a highlight to meet everybody there. Not just YouTubers, but the subscribers as well. Yeah, if you've got a homestead with animals, it's hard to get away and have a weekend and go and do something because somebody's got to be there to take care of your animals. I don't have animals here. I'm in the suburbs, and I can't have any animals. It's too bad. On one hand, it's too bad because I think I'd like to have some chickens. I've commented in a couple of other um, videos or live streams that neighbors can have 3 or 4 large barking dogs, but I can't have the same number of hens, which would make that much noise. I need a 10,000 square foot lot in order to keep chickens here, and I have 9,000. But if I were to be honest, because my husband's a teacher and he gets long vacations for Christmas and spring and summer, and we travel quite a bit, it would be difficult for me to keep chickens. I would fight for the right for people to do it, but I don't know if I myself could do it now. Hey, TJs. Rabbits are listed as pets. Yeah, I know people have rabbits here. It's fine. Yeah, that is a bummer. Yeah, because my place isn't that big. I'm doing the most I can with it. But like I said, if I was to be honest, I probably shouldn't get chickens, even if I could, because I would have to depend on my daughters to come and take care of them, and that wouldn't be fair to them. The laws here say not only you need 10,000 square foot lot, but you have to get your coop and you have to put it up, and it has to be, I think it's 10 or 15 feet from any house or border property line. So that would like be in the middle of a yard because the yards aren't that big. And then you have to have the inspection people come and they have to inspect your coop to make sure it's predator proof and that it's the right size for the chickens. It's good for the chickens, I suppose. And that you have a run or enough room for them to get around. And then after they approve all that, your lot size and your coop, then you have to apply for the license and pay some kind of fee, yearly fee, and then they'll allow you to get your chickens. But you can't just go get them and say, come and take a look. You got to put your coop up first, then have them inspect the coop. So yeah, I was thinking of getting one. When I did, I said I put it right here next to my shed, because my shed is built out the appropriate number of feet from the back property line. And if I could fit it in here, I'd put it here, and I'd have the run go down behind my fence so that the chickens could run up and down behind the fence, because there's a chain link fence and a wood fence, and the chickens could have a little bit of area here, and then they could go behind the fence and run up and down and get all the bugs back there. But it's not going to happen. Okay, what else we got here? Given 4 8-week-old puppies last 4? Chihuahuas? All boys. Gonna be tough, but I will do it. Wow. Yip, 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 yip. My father-in-law, that's a long story. My husband didn't know his father growing up and looked him up and found him later in life. That's quite a story. And we went to visit him. And he had, I think, 3 little chihuahuas. Boy, those things could yip. See, we had a Great Dane, so the difference between a Great Dane and a Chihuahua is quite a bit. Thank you, Sullivan. Yes, clicking the thumbs up would be most helpful. That always helps the channel to get some thumbs up. Well, I think I'm going to take you over to where I'm rethinking another Hugelkultur bed. Now, I described the deep Hugelkultur earlier, but what I'm going to do now is I've been walking around my yard and I have a couple of big old trees here and some over the fence, and they're dropping wood and they're dropping branches, and some of them are already dead, so they're decaying, and they're perfect to use for Hugelkultur. So I'm thinking I might try a border Hugelkultur where I take sticks and twigs and some smaller branches and lay them along the border of my beds. Of course, not going across where the paths would be, but outlining some beds with them, and then covering them with leaves, and then putting soil on top of them. So the mounds would be smaller, but they would still be breaking down with uh, compost type matter, organic matter, and then I could plant some seeds or plants into that and see how they do. I thought it'd be worth a try rather than just throwing these over the fence and getting rid of them, and maybe even making swales with them where I need to direct water. I'm forgetting. Contours and swales, yeah. Sounds like a good idea. I'd like my yard to be more permaculture, but it has to be a pretty permaculture. It can't be a yucky looking permaculture. I've seen some that just look like a jungle and they're not even pleasant to walk through. And there's others that are really nice. Edible landscaping permaculture, more or less. So let's see if I got any more comments I need to address before we take a look over that. Chihuahuas, Homestead, Tessie. Is it possible that the land survey might be off? Wouldn't that be nice? But I doubt it. I do have a friend who does, what do you call that? Where they use the gadgets to do the property lines. Not land, you know what I'm talking about. Surveying. He's a surveyor. I might be able to get a deal with him to come and take a look. Pumpkin challenge. Trying to grow big pumpkins, huh? Luna, Blue, Gizmo, and Precious. I guess those are the names of the chihuahuas. They're cute. Yes, pretty is necessary. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to do all this work and have it look a mess, you know. Okay, I'm going to put down my Kindle so I won't see the comments for a few minutes, and I'm going to take you over to where I'm toying with making a Hugelkultur bed. Oh, and I want to show you something else too. I'm going to drag something over here, so I'm going to disappear for about 10 seconds or less. I've had this big vine fall down, and I'm thinking I should do something with it. This thing is huge. Okay, see, it's all curled up. It's a vine. They grow in the park behind my house. Uh-oh, I'm knocking my... No! I'm going to knock my nectarines off my tree. Okay. This big old thing. If any of you saw the video I made when we were in Williamsburg, you saw they had a table trellis that had vines like this on the top, as the top of the trellis. So I'm thinking about doing that with that, making a table trellis and using the vines, because I've got a bunch of them behind the fence that I could get. All right, we're going to go take a look at my... All right, can you see here? I'm going to turn the camera around so I can see what you're seeing. Right there, I think. There you go. All right. Now here's like a fallen limb, and there's a bunch of sticks up there, all in here. I've got lots of sticks I've collected. They're all over the yard. I still got tons more I can collect. And then down here in my garden, see, I've been raking up the paths of the garden, and I have, those are my hydrangea sticks from last year, and my leaves that I'm raking up from the garden. And I'm thinking I could make hugelkultur, raised hugelkultur beds right here, where I just make little mounds and then plant into those. And I'd like to see how that would work. That's my thought anyway, because I've got the 2 deep hugelkulturs already going. And it's in the shade, but I got to show you this awful poison ivy I have. Oh, it's terrible. Right here. That is poison ivy. All over this fence. And there's a little bit down there, down that way in the ground, and a little bit up there on the fence. But on this section, it is all over the fence. And we get it very badly. We break out bad. I've sprayed it. Someone suggested, and I was hesitant because I don't want the rain washing it off and getting into my gardens, because my gardens are organic. But they were telling me to get salt and dish liquid and vinegar, strong, and spray them. And I did that 2 days in a row, totally saturated them, and that's what they look like. So I don't think it's going to do anything. I could keep it up, but I don't think that mixture is going to do it. My other thought was to take black plastic and drape the fence with it and cover it all and push it in tight and let it get real hot under there in the sun, and wonder if that would kill it. And my third idea that I read about was to take hot boiling water and pour it along the ground to kill the roots. But I'm not confident any of those things will work. And I think it's cost me like $300 to have somebody come and take it out. And then it's not guaranteed. So that's where I am with that. So I'm going to go back to the chair. I can see my raspberries over there are getting big. There's a few pokeweeds I got to get out of them. I've been weeding the garden. And we did get the trash out to the road, and we had all those bags of waste that had to go out, and the rest that was good went into the compost. So, and here's my nectarine doing so well. I love looking at my fruit trees when they're actually making fruit. Okay, I'm going to sit down again. Turn the camera back around. Hang on, don't get dizzy. Oh, this used to be my greenhouse. We had a windstorm. That's what's left of it. So this week, after Mother's Day, I'm going to come out and get that put back right. I'll have to get a new cover for it. All right, let me turn the camera around. There we go. And get my chair in. And pick up my Kindle. and see what you all been saying. Hey, Claire. Okay. Too big. I'm just trying to find the chat where we left off last time. Okay, Tessie, I'll see you in and out. I love these live streams because everybody can get in and talk to each other and sub to each other. I see you're doing that. That's great. Okay. You go for green. I remember he had a pumpkin challenge last year, so I assume he's going to do that again. Yeah, I'm ready for a nap. And now that I'm getting my porch almost done, I can take a nap on my porch. I love taking a nap out on the porch. Even when it's raining, it sounds so nice coming down and napping. It's nice having a roof over your head to sleep outside with a screen porch. Ah, you've seen furniture made from that kind of vine. Hi, Lone Star. Okay. Yeah, poison ivy's awful. And we all get it. All of us get it. I don't know how people don't get it. We get it so badly, I don't see how people don't get it. I do have a tip for your exposure, though. And I can't swear it works, but so far so good. I watched this video by a man who for a living goes around and tears out poison ivy. So I guess he should know what he's talking about, unless he's just not sensitive to it. But what he did as a demonstration was he took axle grease and he rubbed it all over his forearms and hands, so he was black from the axle grease. And then he went in with this heavy duty soap and washed himself really well and rinsed his hands and come out, and he went like this, and you still saw streaks of axle grease here or there. Parts were clean and parts were streaked. And he said, this is what, I can't pronounce that oil that's in poison ivy, urea shawl or something like that, but he said this is what that oil does. It sticks to you like this, and when you wash, it doesn't necessarily all come off. And then depending on how thick it was in different places, it'll eat down into your skin, and some will come out one time, some will come out another time, and everyone thinks they're reinfected, but it's really the oil that was left still working its way down into the skin and making you break out. And he said what he does, he says it's more important to take a washcloth and really scrub to get that oil off rather than just a soap. He said it's the friction and the scrubbing, and then of course he took a washcloth and he didn't even put soap on this one, and he scrubbed himself with this washcloth, the abrasiveness, and all the black axle grease came off. He said that's what has to be done after a poison ivy exposure. You have to be sure that you scrub hard with some kind of abrasion and friction like a washcloth to get it all off. So I've been doing that, and because I did cut some of that off the fence, I got a little tiny bit right here on my arm. It was only about 2 inches long, and it was there for 3 weeks. So, it was poison ivy. It blistered, but it didn't go anywhere else. So I must have missed that spot when I was scrubbing. But that's what happened. Okay. Well, Sullivan says we may have to dig it out. Somebody may have to dig it out. It's not going to be me. But I think I'm going to have to pay somebody big bucks to get it out of there. And you know, that fence, it's an old stockade wood fence, but right on the other side of it is my neighbor's chain link fence, and they're only about 4 inches apart. So that stuff is coming up in between both and intertwining into both. It's a mess. All right, now I'm back to where I was. Hi, Isabel. I don't know if I said hello to you earlier or not. Yeah. Hancock's looking for excuses not to clean his chicken house. I hope this wind isn't doing terrible things to the sound. I did buy one of those Rode speakers and the little fuzzy cover for it, but it doesn't do me good when it's in the house, does it? Yes, Isabel, that was a wonderful devotion this morning. I came very late, but that film he showed, I could watch that every day and still cry. Hmm. Dana, poison ivy doesn't bother you? Wow. You know, my neighbor on this side over the fence where the poison ivy is, he was boasting to me. He says, never bothers me. I don't get it. I'll rip it out of there for you. And he took some of it off the fence. He got it bad. Well, it's the famous last words. I don't get it. Oh, wow. And your husband can, my goodness, gives me the heebie jeebies just thinking about touching that stuff. Wow. That's amazing. You don't get it. Wow. Yeah, I guess well, everybody who wanted to be subscribed to me, I guess you better check and see if it says you are subscribed and the bell clicked because a lot of people are getting unsubscribed. That's right. You have to wash clothing too, and the clippers. I wash those with alcohol, and my shoes, everything I washed, and I threw away my gloves. I made sure I used an old pair and I threw them away. Well, people will tell you, Jatan, people said poison ivy, you could kill it with vinegar, or do you mean when you break out, would it help to put vinegar on your skin? I don't know about that. But for those who told me to use vinegar to kill it, I don't think it does anything with this stuff. Oh, sorry, Hancock. Her chicken house. I bet you there's so many people, he's that I call she's, and she's that I call he's, just because you can't tell who's who. He does not clean. Now, my husband's going to go with me to the homesteading conference in October. And he's not a homesteader. He doesn't do any of these things. It's just not his thing. But he's being very gracious because he knows how important it was to him. He's going to take me. He's very friendly and he makes friends easily. So he's hoping there's a good cup of coffee to be found there and some snacks. But I'm thinking the homesteaders will make him feel welcome. Yep, that video makes everybody cry. Mm-hmm. Sullivan Family Homestead. She, yes, Dana. That much I knew because I've seen you. Like the one who confused me. Now I'm not going to remember. I was sure it was a man or a female. The one who's always making the the puns and the jokes on everyone's live streams. Wouldn't you know it? Now I won't be able to think of the name. Ah, yes, Dana. We'll have to introduce them. Now I know Cherish's husband's going to be there. He plays guitar and he smokes a pipe, and my husband doesn't do any of those things. My husband doesn't sing. He likes music, but he doesn't sing. But I guess John doesn't really sing either, but he's very musical. He plays guitar beautifully. That's Cherish's husband. No, not Grizz. I'm thinking Grizz is a man, though, right? I hope I hope he's a man. That's what I always think. It was some. Oh, I know who. Freaky Geek. Freaky Geek. I thought Freaky Geek was a she, and if Freaky Geek was telling the truth, Freaky Geek is a he. Yeah. Does Matt drink coffee? I told Amy Fuel, who's, kind of organizing the whole thing, that she's got to have a good coffee vendor there. Strong coffee, none of the weak stuff, and my husband won't even stay. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Told you I was ready for a nap. No. Well, I don't have much else to say. It's just fun hanging out sometimes and seeing what everybody's up to. Sit with a Dr. Pepper and chat. Yeah. Mick's pretty friendly, and he's funny. He's a very funny guy. I just don't think there's going to be enough time to meet everybody and see all the exhibitors and I was even thinking about getting a table there with some of my things to sell. But who's going to have time to man a table if we're looking at the exhibitors and listening to the speakers and then meeting all the YouTubers and the subscribers? Doesn't seem like there'd be time to do all that in one day. But next next year they're going to do 2 days. Hi, Butler. Okay, I forgot your name. I knew it. You're going to have to tell me your name again. She's a Butler. Oh, I told myself to remember her name. Pooey. I love visiting, Jatan says. I do too. I mean, I feel the pressure on me to, if I started the stream, I can't sit here and not say anything. So then I think, well, I guess I better get off. But you guys can have fun talking to each other. Yeah, Sullivan. How now? Have they told you what your schedule is while you're there? Is it just one right after the other all day long for 8 hours, or do you do an exhibit for an hour or two and then get a 2 hour break? Do you have any idea? Krista, waving back, Krista. Thank you, Krista. I have to remember that. Same name as Brad's wife, Krista. It's autumn there. I can't get that straight in my head. Because June, thinking June, when's your winter months? I just can't even fathom how winter could be our summer and oh, it's August, it's winter. It's just, isn't that hard for anybody else to fathom that you could have winter? It's normal for them to have winter in our summer months. That's really strange to me. But it's probably the opposite for her. If she's used to winter being June, then winter being December for us is odd for her. No, I don't know yet. Amy mentioned that the schedule was coming out soon. I'm hoping to see something soon. Yeah. And I also think they're going to have a meetup outside of the event where we can meet up at a restaurant or something and just, have a good old time together. Um, Dana, has Amy said how many people she expects are going to be there? Or does she have enough of a clue yet to be able to project? Bye, Laura. Oh, her first live chat. We're glad to have you here. We're planning on heading up there on Friday. When are you going? I would love to go on Friday, but I don't think that's going to happen. My husband has to work until like 3 o'clock, and then the traffic between my house and DC and the event is horrendous on Friday nights. So I think we'll be going early Saturday, as early as I can get him moving. He's usually a pretty much an early bird, but this is my thing, not his thing. So I don't know how inspired he's going to be to get motivated early. Can you have one of your daughters go with you to man the booth so you can see the other exhibits? Oh, my husband's home. Um, that would be possible, but we'd probably need to get another ticket. They're not cheap, and I don't know how interested they'd be in going. So possible, but not probable. Hancock Holmes, he has to go and clean the chicken house while the sun is shining. Bye, Hancock. The same there. That's why Matt's taking a vacation day and we're going on Friday. I'd love to talk him into that. We'd have to get another hotel night. Well, we wouldn't really have to because my son lives right near where the hotel we're staying, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have us stay there, but we didn't want to impose on them. So we got a room. My son lives 30 or 40 minutes from the venue. Sullivan, if you got a vendor table, you'd only pay the vendor fee, not another ticket fee. I'm not sure how much of a savings there is. Well, that's good to know. I have a lot of crocheting I could do. I wanted to make aprons. I wanted to have t-shirts. I had some baked goods I could bring. There was a lot I could do if I thought I had the time, but in the one-day event, it just seemed kind of hard. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, my honey got home, so I'm going to go in and make sure he gets something to eat. He eats dinner early because he goes to school real early and eats lunch like at 11 o'clock in the morning or something. So when he comes home, he's pretty hungry. Plus, he runs or walks after school. So I'm going to sign off. Hi, North Dakota Pink. Just getting ready to leave. But I'm glad you came in to say hello. I think you would do well. Well, it's something for me to think about. Because I could have jams and jellies. Yeah, I could do some stuff. Just manning that table. Hi, Mayhay. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. Oops, sorry. Um, I'll be doing another live stream before long. I'm thinking I'm going to do one from my kitchen too before too long. So be watching for that. Love you all. Look down below for my links for my email address and my post office box if you want to send a card or a letter. I like hearing from people. So I'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all.